because they're not conditioned for that kind of money. They're not conditioned for the lifestyle that they just got thrown into because they didn't do the small work that nobody saw. They didn't do the monotonous things. They didn't do the little task that nobody watches, that nobody gives you credit for, that nobody gives any sort of recognition for. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Built Not Given. Today, I want to talk about something that I've noticed on social media and when I go places that's just really pissed me off, and that's people complaining about the work, even though that they ask for more. They ask for more money, more opportunity, a better life, a better this, a better that, but then they're mad at the fact that their life is changing and it's getting a little bit harder right now. They're upset that they're getting challenged more. They're upset that God's putting more on their plate. They're upset about all these different things, but what they don't see is all of those things build up to where they want to be. And I believe people think that work is an obstacle that they have to get through. But in my opinion, work is training. It is training you for the person that you're going to become. It's training you for the person that you want to be. It's training you to operate better when you become the dream version of yourself. And I think when people complain, it comes from a place of sincerity because they don't. It's not a talked about. It's a misunderstanding that people have that the work is an obstacle when it's not. It's training you for who you want to become. And that kind of clicked for me when I started doing my triathlon training, my Ironman training, which is why I started doing it in the first place. Because I knew that I was gonna grow more mentally than I would physically. Yes, I'm gonna be in a lot better shape than I was. I'm gonna be able to run further than I was. I'm gonna be able to swim further than I was. But I'm also gonna be able to operate day to day a million times better than I could before I started. Because every discipline in there, the swimming, the biking, and the running, they all serve a different purpose. And I learned that you don't survive the race by muscling through it. You don't immediately go to the finish line. You don't walk up to the start line, take 3 steps, you're at the finish line. It's not easy. It's hard, but it's hard in different ways. And that's business life and personal life. But each discipline taught me a different thing, and I want to break that down. So we'll start with the swimming. The swim taught me that I need to learn how to move. It taught me that one, fighting the water makes me way slower. And I think that translates directly into my personal life and my business life because I can't fight what's happened for a million years. You can't rewrite the program because you don't agree with it. You have to operate within it. You have to learn how to get better within it. You might be able to change a few things here and there to better optimize your business or your personal life, but overall, the core principles that have been the same since the earth was created, you can't change those. You got to learn how to move within those. You got to learn how to flow with the water. And I believe that the swimming stage taught me control. It taught me how I can move more efficiently. It taught me that instead of trying to learn something new, I needed to look at what has always been and figure out how I can dilate that for me. The bike stage, the bike stage is what's helped me build the capacity. It's what's helped me build the endurance to go through the hard times. It's what's helped me learn how to do the monotonous stuff that I don't want to do every day. It's given me the discipline to do the small things, to do the stuff that I don't want to do, to pretty much do everything. The bike stage it's long, it's monotonous, it's not fun, there's nothing cool about it. You're sitting on a bike for hours on end. For me right now, since it's 18 degrees outside, it is inside on a trainer. So I'm sitting staring at a TV with a digital bike thing going on my computer. I mean, one, that's a little weird. I can't get over that. But it's also just boring. It is so boring because, in my opinion, the biking isn't hard. It's not the physical hard that I'm used to with the swimming, not even the swimming, more the running, but it's just it's mind numbing stuff because it's just hours and hours sitting in one place watching the TV or watching your computer screen. It's it's just boring. But that taught me how to do the daily reps. It taught me how to be okay without any recognition. because I don't see any results from it right now. Maybe it's a little bit easier, but it's not night and day. But that discipline, the biking discipline, has taught me how to tolerate just the mind-numbing stuff, the monotonous day-to-day tasks that we know we need to do, even though we don't want to do them because they're boring. Nobody wants to do it. But all of those two things, the swimming and the biking, in my opinion, they build up to the run because the run sucks. It hurts. You can't hide from it. It's just you and the pavement. And if you're in a race, you can't listen to music. So it's just you, your pavement, and your uneven breaths. But if the swim and the bike were done right, you're conditioned and you're prepared. And I'm going to tie that right back into the you have a bad boss, you have a bad coworker, you do late nights at the office, late nights at the behind the bar, wherever that long just monotonous stuff is for you, that built you and that trains you to be able to tolerate the pressure and the unavoidable pain, the things that you can't hide from, the things that you can't run from. The swim and the bike, that taught me and that trained me for the run. Because now when I run, I'm a little bit more motivated. I'm like, hey, I swim, I bike, it prepared me for this. That one taught me that the small things always come back and they always show up when you don't think they will. And I think people complain during the run. And I think that's because the run exposes bad form or skipped reps or times where you're like, oh, nobody's watching. I'm not going to do that. That's what the run exposes. That's what the person that you're going to be exposes. And you can't be the person you're going to be without going through the small little monotonous task. So you can't complain that there's a bad boss, a bad coworker, late nights at the office, late nights behind the bar, late nights in college, late nights doing schoolwork. You can't complain about those things because those things are what's going to train you and what's going to condition you for the person that you want to be. Because if you skipped to that person, you would fail immediately. That's why we see these younger kids, these younger people get loads, bukus of money overnight and then lose it all within 5 years. That's why we see lottery winners win the mega millions or whatever it is and then lose it within a month because they're not conditioned for that kind of money. They're not conditioned for the lifestyle that they just got thrown into because they didn't do the small work that nobody saw. They didn't do the monotonous things. They didn't do the little task that nobody watches, that nobody gives you credit for, that nobody gives any sort of recognition for. The things that only you see, the things that only I see, the things that only God sees. Those are the things that are going to prepare you for the person that you want to be. So you can't complain about the work that's going to prepare you. You can't complain about the small things. You can't complain about a bad boss. You can't complain about any of that because that right there is what's going to teach you and what's going to train you and what's going to build you into the person that you want to be. The work isn't punishment, it's preparation. You don't get to skip the steps, you don't get to skip stages, you don't get to ask for the race and complain about the training. Or you don't get to ask to be this person that you want to be and complain about the work that's going to take to get there. If it feels heavy, if it feels hard, if you're uncomfortable, that's good. I know for me that uncomfortable was awful. It was terrible for the first couple years that I was doing business, that I was trying to become somebody. But now, if I'm comfortable, I feel uncomfortable. I'm going to say that again because it's whatever. When I'm comfortable, I feel uncomfortable. I have to do something that makes me uncomfortable. I have to do something that's hard because if I don't, that means I'm not growing. That means I'm not moving. And I want to be a mover. I've been told this my entire life and I hate it. And I hate it. And I hate that I'm about to say it. I want to be the thermostat. I don't want to be the thermometer, meaning I don't want to follow. I want to lead. But I can't do that without the small monotonous things. And you can't do that without the small monotonous things. You can't do that without the things that suck, the things that are hard, the things that you don't want to do, the things that don't make any sense why you have to go through this. Because whether or not you believe it, whether or not you can see it, the things that you look up and you're asked, why God, why me? He's looking down saying, just wait. Just wait. You prayed to become a better person. And he answered. But he knows that you have to learn how to be that person first. He can't just turn you into that because you won't last. But to close up, if you ask for more, you can't complain about the work. You can't complain about the hard times because that's preparing you for more. That's preparing you for what you asked for. So you can't complain. The work's not a problem. It's not something to solve. It's not an obstacle to get over. It's the water that you have to swim through. It's the bike that you have to stay on. Because when you stay on the bike and you stay in the water, when the run comes, you'll be ready.